Hey folks, Artie Farty here. Welcome everybody to the show. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit late. The boys in blue pulled me up on the way in. We have this thing called random breath testing and drug testing, and I drew the short straw today. I got pulled in, so sorry about that. Ron and Creepy, they know that I deal with that. So, a quick hello to everyone that's here. Who do I have? I've got Gary, Nissy, Ron, Gary, Creepy, Jerry, Anthony, Santa Fe Bob. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue off from where I left off last Sunday, which is down at Port Kembla. I'm down near number 6 jetty. Hey Default, how are you? So I'm going to continue on from here. A lot has changed over the time. A lot of industries have left or changed and whatnot. To my left here, there used to be the BP fuel storage depot, and there's a lot of photos on the internet from this location. There used to be a huge maze of tracks coming into the number 6 jetty, but now it's all conveyors and there's no trains going on there anymore. It's all done by road. So I'll continue on from here because it's on the edge of the outer harbour, and we'll go to where the ships unload for the steelworks, and where the container boats and more of the car carriers and odd-sized loads on ships come in from all around the world. So I'm going to change my camera. And let me just bear with me for a sec. Okay. I'll just go back to this. Okay, here we go. All right. So out towards my left here, I'm not going to go out. The weather's, it's pretty windy, so you guys not going to hear me too well. So I'm going to try to do as much as I can from inside the car. Now on the left here, this used to be the road rail unloading facility for BP. And where the gate is and that sign, that's where the railway line used to come into. Now to the right, where this truck's about to come out, you'll see a truck coming out the right there with a load of cement. That's where the railway line used to be, but it's all gone now. I'll get up to the wharf as close as I can without getting into trouble, because I don't have the ID to get in there and whatnot. It's very what do you call it, security orientated in here. So I'll just go to the edge of it. You can still see some of the rail where the concrete is. I might be able to get out here. I'll just park underneath this here. Now the wide track that you see here, I'll just duck out. Shouldn't be too windy here. So we've got the wave scales here for the trucks. The rail line here where we're standing on the cranes used to park, and the rail line you can see there curved around and went around the corner there by the building, basically below where this weighbridge is. They did bring the other two lines in, just on the other side of the weighbridge there. They bring the copper concentrate in to those sheds. It gets exported all around the world. And then here we got the cement, and it all gets unloaded and loaded by conveyor belt now. The big wide trucks that you see, that was for the cranes that used to be up on the wharf, but they've all been removed since. It's actually quite good today. There's no ships in, so it's pretty quiet here. They can imagine it, before these conveyors came in, they were it's pretty bustling with all the trains going in and out. Those little 70 class switches that I have, they were prominently used on these wharves as a replacement to some of the light steam engines we had. This is the other side of the cement plant. It takes up part of the spot where the... G'day Melvin, how are you? Where a couple of the other jetties used to be. G'day FL Railroading. So a lot's been changed up around in here. There is going to be another berth right on the edge there for the cement ships, and be part of the container wharf. Now this pulley here is what's been left off one of the old cranes that used to be up on here. Now you'll see these bins in here. They get the clam bucket off the ship and unload into that to run up the conveyor belt. They're bringing the clinker from mainly from down Victoria, down where Ron Moen is. Gets brought up here by ship and into the warehouse, into the shed there before it gets dried. That big gantry that goes over the top, that actually goes over the ship and loads the ship up with copper concentrate. In the big blue bin in the distance that you see, they actually use that to load the trucks up. Hey John School, John, how are you? I'm trying to read the comments, but my glasses darken up, so you guys just have to bear with me for a moment. I'll read the comments in a moment. So a lot around here has changed. You see, here's the other track that used to go in. I did have the track plan drawn out somewhere on my computer, how the track plan used to work in here. Sounds like the cops are looking for me again. I hear the sirens in the background. It's all right, guys. The reward money's not that great yet, so it doesn't dot me in. Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna go down towards the end of the cement works. G'day, Grandpa Rails, how are you? Who else have I got? Oh, Nissy, how are you? Okay, who else do I have? Okay, so what I'm going to do now is sorry guys, I'm just leaving and reading the comments. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to head over down towards the end of the track, roughly whereabouts the line went to. For those who watched my live stream last week, this line all joined up towards Port Kembla, which is right at the other side there. Just bear with me for a minute, folks. I'm gonna just slip the seatbelt on. Yeah, it's pretty quiet in here, so from now I'm just going to hold on to the phone as a videotape. So yeah, we got the copper concentrate here that comes out from the back of New South Wales, a place called Cobar. It's about by road, it's probably about a good 13 hours, 14 hours drive from here. So the line used to come along pretty much where this road is. Now this cement plant here is pretty new. It's a modern facility. It's got a different way of drying and kilning the cement. It's actually a batching plant or mixing plant too, where they use the granulated slag sand from the steelworks and blending in to make a certain compound of cement. So for those who are, I'll get to the end of the street here and I'll go out and or pan the camera around so some of you guys can see what this cement plant looks like. Hang on, I've got a car behind me. So this is pretty much the end of the road. Hang on, we've got a new park in here, so I might actually go up in there. So the rail line pretty much follow this road and junctioned off up in the corner there, where those building sheds are. Now here, there's a lot of construction work going on. It's actually going to be turned into the new container terminal. No, Jerry, I'm on the right side of the road, bud. But to make you guys feel better later on, I will actually go and put you guys on the left-hand side because we might end up going up to, depending how nasty this weather gets, if it stays this good, we'll head up towards one of the coal mines, which isn't far. We'll follow the private line. So as you can see, that's our new cement plant. It's actually owned by Australian Cement. Bulk of the cement comes up from Melbourne. Well, not so much Melbourne, actually comes from Victoria, not far from where Ron Moen is. G'day, Melvin. How are you, buddy? So the process of why they do the drying the cement is a lot different to what it used to be. Up in by the right of that crane above those guys that are standing. Hey, David. How are you, buddy? Where the funny pot is, that's actually the drying kiln now. Do they mix it up, blend it up in this tower, and then you've got bins over there that actually gets loaded into the trucks. A lot of it goes by road, and there are some that actually go in 20-foot containers. and then transport to Sydney. G'day, container man. How are you? Okay, where are we? If you Google it, we're actually at Port Kembla, Kembla. So this is all the industrial area down within here. This all this has been refabbed, but yeah, it's called Port Kembla. Sorry, Ron. Sorry, Ron Brights. Like to see that you're awake. Yeah, where Ron Brights is, the cement that comes into this place here generally comes from down his way. There's a lot of clinker mines down within his area, or between him and Melbourne. Hello, Ethan. Welcome to the channel. So we're going to go around now to where the stacks are over here. We're going to go around the Coke Works. Yeah, Ron Mullins in US. Yeah, I know. Sorry, please forgive me, mate. I'll buy you a beer next time I'm down there. Okay. So anyway, we'll go to the other side of the plant and see where all the ships are coming in for the steelworks, and the car carriers are coming from overseas, part of the coal loader, and you guys can actually see the construction of the new hydrogen plant that they actually starting to construct here. So I'm going to go to the right of this roundabout. So all up in here, that used to be part of BP. On the way out, you guys will see the container, like the old fuel tanks. There's a couple of new tankers for you, container man, the cart cement. Someone's been making money. I don't know if you guys can see it. Our local tugboats. There's only 3 here at the moment. They helps with bringing in and out of the ships. Yes, Progress Rail actually have taken over freight. They're actually on contract. They've taken over the maintenance of the Freight Corp's maintenance facility, the servicing the diesels and the rolling stock. Now, where we are now, it's sort of actually that road that I came onto was actually part of the original road, and the original road went over. I'll just park it up here in the middle. That was part of the original road that used to come through here. Oh, it's a shame Pappy's not here. There's a fisherman. See, we do actually got good fishermen here. Hey, Ron, how are you? Okay. So here we are. And what we see now is what's known as the inner harbour. The big buildings over there, the white buildings, they're the grain silos. All the wheat from within this state come into there to be exported. The ship there now waiting to get loaded. To the right is the coal berth, where all the export coals comes into being shipped out. Now, where the cranes are to the right, that's the original part of the original coal berth, or the old, what we call down here the old coal loader. Now, that's been transformed into a hydrogen. They're going to be producing hydrogen and exporting hydrogen from here. So that's what's on the card here now. I spent a lot of time on that part there, carting coal in and out from here up to the other side. The actual road the original road used to go just on the other side of that pile of scrap coal. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm going to duck out of the car. Now, where you see that other ship there, with the cranes closer to us on the long berth there, that's where all our basic cars and autoloads like machinery, trains, locomotives, trams, windmills all come in. That facility actually used to be up at Darling Harbor in White Bay in Sydney, and they moved it down to here. Parts of the Sydney Harbour Tunnel for the motorway was built just around the corner. Where my finger is pointing, and everything else belongs to the steel mill. Hang on, I've got these on shaky cam. So what do we have here? That ship there is actually brought in a load of iron ore, most probably from West Australia, from the Pilbara area, or down in South Australia. We've got one blast furnace there. That's the only one that's working. It's up. You can just see the blast furnace there. It's a whole series of conveyor belts. Then we've got a filtration system here for the sinter plant, where they blend in all the major steel like your dolomite and the other products. A lot of the cranes used to be a big, massive conveyor belt system in here, but it's all been taken out. One, it's been aged, and they're actually running it. They're bringing a lot of bulk material now into by road. Now the conveyor system, the buildings up around here that I'm pointing to, it's all part of the Coke Works. There is a coal line that loops around it. Feeds into the Coke Works. They cook it out, and it all comes down onto a stockpile up in here. So it's all pretty much compacted. Now the buildings in the distance there, they're the various grades of plate steel that they're actually producing now. Yes, it is, Container Man. This now is the biggest steel plant in Australia. It is actually the biggest plant in the Southern Hemisphere. The only other similar plant to this is down in a place called Wyalla in West Australia, but they just produce down there beams, rail, and some tubing. Over here, they actually produce plate steel and specialised plate. A lot of the plate that you see in here do get used for shipping, submarines, battleships, and stuff like that. as well as domestic use. So it is pretty big plant. It used to actually employ close to 40,000-50,000 people in its heyday. Believe it or not, this used to start at the back on the mountains in a place called Lithgow. Then it moved down to here back in the early 1900s. And it's the biggest employer in this area, or was. There were a lot of coal mines up around here. There is a few big limestone mines up towards where Creepy is. And then there was an iron ore mine there, but it's been used up. So a lot of the iron ore comes up from where our big, massive iron ore trains are from the west. We do occasionally get iron ore from South America. And occasionally we do get some iron ore from the US, but most of it's all domestic. We can't see it at the moment. I'm going to see if we can get permission to get in to the old section where my finger is over there, where the coal trains and the wheat trains come in. It's all what do you call it? Strict security in there now. It's limited access, so I've got to ask for permission to get in there. I will seek that in the next couple of weeks, so I'm going to try to do a tour. Looks like a Sunday might be the great day. Might do a tour through the old coal loader here and along the seawall, and now which is now the holding bay for the new cars in the distance. There used to be swampland, and just want to show what it used to look like and what it looks like now. It's a very interesting area to model, and where the trains that I actually have got in my fleet pretty much represent, if I take, pretty much represents what used to run here right up to the late 90s. But if I can model up to the late 80s, early 90s, I take out the grain facility, and basically this section here, I'll just take this out. Because they didn't exist. The gravel pits in Spring Hill, I tell you a trick, it's not actually gravel pits, it's actually a slag dump. All the slag that comes out, from the blast furnace, and then right next to the blast furnace, you'll see 3 stacks. That's the BOS, basic oxygen smelter. So all the slag that comes out of there goes into Spring Hill, and there's a big crushing plant in there. So they end up crushing all that slag up and goes to the cement plant. There is another one in the distance there that actually pulverizes the slag sand and turns it into cement. Also, what they have there is they get the metal fines. That is part from the steel making process. They recycle it. And also you've got your pig iron and scrap iron. Yeah, it's a huge crushing plant. That crushing plant came in, let me think now. That crushing plant came in 1992, I think, or 93 is when they put the crushing plant in there. And what it does is actually crushes all the slag at the steelworks, and it's the dump site for this part here. Now, all this here in the steelworks is actually built on swamp, and they actually used, back in the time when they could get away with it, they actually used a lot of the slag from the old works. So it gives you a bit of a history. All that is all swamp. And up on the other side there as well, what you see in front of me, that used to be all swamped. A lot it's been dredged. They did use a lot of slag from the steelworks. You couldn't do it now. Yeah, yeah, it happened after after your time. They were planning on it. I don't know. You probably would have been around still, Creepy, when Gary, when number 2 blast furnace was actually still fired up, and number 4 or number 5, sorry, number 2 and number 4 blast furnace. Because we were actually where the crushing plant is now. We dumped a lot of that white granulated slag sand back then. In the late 80s is when they started to do that, filling that in. But then they dug it out and reused it, and that slag sand turns. You can pack it right, it goes as hard as steel. So anyway, I'm gonna go put you guys on the tripod. How am I going for time? 15 minutes. Yeah, let's see. What else can I show up around here? I was thinking about going up in the corner of the mountain, but that's going to take about 15 minutes to get up there. I suppose I can move along and put you guys in the passenger seat or passenger side window, and hopefully get a couple of trains over at the maintenance facility or in the steelworks freight yard there in the corner, because a lot of things have changed at the moment. Actually, you can just see up behind, I've just noticed that behind that ship there is actually a big grey mound. I've actually just noticed that's all shredded steel. Hello, Tina, how are you? Sorry, I not at the beach today for you, mainly because the weather's been very unpredictable here. But you do have a fisherman there, trying to catch some fish. So yeah, a lot has changed up in through here. A lot has changed. I will. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into that container man. Because they have created a lot of restrictions on that seawall road. As I said earlier, I am going to seek permission to get up there. To get around there now will probably take me a good 10-15 minutes. I suppose I can make my way over. Because I basically got to go right around the plant. So actually I will do that. It gives you guys an idea how big this steel plant actually is. Yeah, well, the Pacific Ocean just on the other side of that seawall there, Tuna. I'm actually just going to go and take you guys for a ride, so I'm not going to be able to see the comments once I put you guys. I'm going to put you guys on the tripod. So bear with me. Oh. Well, that's working that so far, so I'll just tighten that up. Put you guys on charge. Yeah, it's not. Shamefully, here in Australia, it's not like in the United States. you get busted with your phone in your hand, and it's, for me, it's over a $900 fine, and I can buy a lot of trains for $900. So I'm not going to be able to read the comments. I will try to make some commentaries as we go along. Hopefully you guys can hear me. So basically we're at the edge of the steelworks now. So basically where we are now is where all the raw products come in and out of. Now for you Americans, you guys are feeling at home now. You can see that we're you're riding on the left hand side of the car. If you're a train driver in Australia, or train engineers, you guys call them, the train engineers are actually on the left-hand side in the trains here in Australia. Original road actually came up through here. That building there is a water pumping station for the steel mill. So this is the original road that you guys would have travelled on. I don't know if Gary would remember it or not, but in the early days before the steel plant actually expanded and the inner harbour was put in, this was the original road. Now you'll see, just pull up over here. In the corner there, you can see, you still can resemble to see the old BP insignia on the old tanks, the two of the old tanks that's been left over. I don't know what's in them now, but that building there is a cement batching plant. Is a cement batching plant, which it's a particular cement that is used or created, produced by slag sand. So now the side that we're going on is going to be beside the coke ovens. You can actually see, oops, excuse me, you can actually see the steam coming out of the stack now, which where they're quenching the hot coke. The yellow building towards the left at the stack, that's where all the pulverized coal is stored and getting ready to be put in charge of cars and to refill the coke ovens. I just duck in the side road so you guys can see. See the complexity of the conveyor system for the coke works. So what you see here is basically this building here that you see in front of us is like a big giant junction for the conveyor belts where it feeds the coke into the stockpile. There are screeners in here too. Sorry. There are screeners inside here. Screens at a certain different grade and goes to the stockpile. This big stockpile here, a lot of it would be export. Okay, there's some of your moderators here. Okay. That's all going to be export. Some that they use inside the plant. There was a rail lines on the bottom of here. Some is still being used, some is not. That's edge of the cakeworks there. You can see there's a bit of steam coming off the one that had just been quenched. There's actually a rail line that goes up next to it. The rail line goes right around the actual cakeworks itself. Yeah, well, it's actually a big find here too. It's a big find here too, container man. So they really don't want to. Yeah, the conveyor belts come out from this building here, from the coke works, and it goes up into there. Now, where I was on the other side when we had the old gantries there, it was actually they were able to use it to load ships with too, but some brainwave from university thought they can do away with it, so they no longer can load the ships. Yeah, it's a big junction box basically for the conveyor system. This one here is a screener as well, but the one over there, that's still just a big junction. Now, you'll just see by where my finger is, that's what we call dolomite. That gets cooked into the red building at the background here to get some of the impurities and whatnot and get it ready to be put into the blast furnace for which they make steel out of. It helps the iron ore and everything else bond together. So that's one of the materials that they use inside or part of the steel manufacturing process. So this side here is all raw products. Okay, I'm going to put you in the passenger seat again, guys. And when you're around the other side. Yes, so there's 3 tanks here. They're the old BP tanks. Shell had some tanks here too. A lot of it used to come by rail, but of course, no fuel or oils or gases get transported by rail anymore. It all goes by road. There's some of the old dolomite to the right. These black tanks to the right holds ethanol that's produced down the south coast at Nara. They produce this ethanol out of flour. And this is on the right here, that's the entrance into your coke works. Just going to pull up here on next to this truck here. This grey tank here is what I was talking about. They actually load this with cement and then they transport it to Sydney and other remote parts of the state. Yeah, they do. They do that container man, and it's hard. Believe it or not, the Cokeworks here now is half the size of what it used to be. Here's one of the new trucks for you, container man. Right. They're getting heavier and heavier, and have a look how many axles they got. That transports a lot of the colorbond steel, which is zinc and aluminium coated plate products, which is done on the other side. So anyway, you know, yes, it is considered part of the port. Well, we do have public roads here, so where we are now is the perimeter. I know with that seawall that you were talking about does now fall into that category. But because it was on the edge, let me get off the road a bit. Now, before they redone the coal loader, they used to allow surfers to go along the seawall there because they used to be able to get the good surf, and some fishermen. But now it's all changed because of that. So I don't have we got what we call an AMSIC card. I don't have mine at the moment. Mine's expired. But still, to go in, I need to seek permission to go inside. I don't have permission to go inside the steelworks anymore because that's expired as well. Well, I haven't been needing to go in there. I haven't been working, so. But yeah, they are pretty strict in here with getting in a restricted area. So where I am going now is public access and public road. I will not go to areas where I don't have permission or I require a certain pass to get in. For me to do that, I will seek proper permission to get into. Yeah, well, that's where they've been running it here too, Ron. That's where the idea came from. It actually came from down there, and it's making it a lot easier to do the distribution. Yeah, well, I won't do it. Look, you know yourself, container man. Look, especially us as a delivery guy doing deliveries and that. I mean, the last thing we want to do is jeopardize our chance of entering a factory or premises, and we're better off doing the right thing. There's enough people doing the wrong thing at the moment. So, no, I mean, I most possibly will be able to gain access into it, but I just got to follow the protocol. He's got no bail money anymore, Jerry. He's spending on his move. Well, what I'm going to do, Ron Brights, is the company here next to me. One of the guys I work with, his wife is part owner of this company, and she's actually got the drawings of these containers. So if I can get the drawings, you'd be able to 3D print them. So anyway, I'm going to wait for this grain truck to go past, and we'll go to the other side of we'll follow the perimeter of the steelworks. Now, to the left of me here is the entrance to the yard where I was here last Sunday, where the old tower used to be. And this is the bridge on one of my earlier videos where I've done the walk and talk. I'm going to stake in around these trucks so I know I can beat them. But what you see in front of me now, that's the original part of the steelworks. That's where you had number 1, 2, and 3 blast furnace. That would have been back in the days when Gary or Creepy used to work here at the mill. Then expanded to the side we were on now. So you got the old works that's on our left, and the newer works which came after the expansion, which the expansion part is on our right. And we're driving right in between the two plants. On the right here is the station where I done my first walk and talk out of Gill station. I've done a couple of streams from here when I first started streaming. If you like, you have a look at it because it actually had Pacific National doing switching in there. Coming through the town of the bridges that we went under, they were actually they were the rail and road bridges to the old works. Now this is called Gringilla, whereas amongst what the Europeans used to call it, as the Europeans called it, they actually nicknamed it, especially the Italians and the Yugoslavs are actually nicknamed it as Chicago. And it took me a while to work out why they nicknamed this area as Chicago. Until I went over to the Juliet jail on the other side of the river, I discovered there was an old steel mill there that was multinational, or multicultural steelworks, where cultures from all around the world actually came from, or worked in from all around the world. Now it is closed now, but it used to be another busy area. Now the first bridge we got here is the rail bridge. There was a big derailment just to the right of me with a coal train. Second bridge of the road. And here we got the Spring Hill, we got the slag area, or what we call 21 dump to the left, where they dump all the slag and got the crushing plant. On the right here is the finishing product for Carbon steel, which is mixture of aluminium and zinc aluminum, which we use for our roofing and fencing and some basically household materials. But the main plant is to the right of me now. And the dump is still on to the left. Now behind those bushes in front of us Well, that bush land there is actually called Allen's Creek. And what it is there is actually a base of, it's a big, huge junction for the line coming from Untitled going to Sydney. Trains going into Steelworks from Untitled into the coal loader. It's like a big, huge junction within those bushes there. We'll cross those two bridges. One day I will do a stream at the junction on the other end, on the other side of it. Particularly now it's sort of a lot busy-ish because we've got the wheat trains coming down the mountain from out west. So this the railway line under this bridge goes to Untitled, and then we've got another Gill line here. That's a Port Kembla Sydney line, and the Untitled Sydney line just joins just up around to the left. And this the main entrance to the right to the Steelworks. As you can read the sign to the right here is the entrance to the grain terminal and where the car carriers come into. All your coal ships, no coal trains, and your coal trains and wheat trains go over that bridge. It's not as busy as what it used to be since the coal exports have died down. And now we're on the southern edge of the city of Wollongong. Okay, now we're going to go up towards the seawall that container man was asking about. I'm going to see how far down I can go on it. We've got a pretty good golf course here for those who like playing golf. Sorry if I haven't answered your texts, guys, but I can't read the text. It's too far away from me at the moment. So this is the way the coal trucks come into the coal loader. Excuse the road, it's a bit rough. I've the heliport that's reasonably new in here. I don't know what's going on up in here. Okay, so we can't get in there anymore. What a shame. So I'm going to have to seek permission to go in further, but I'm just going to stop up here for a bit. Yeah, I can't go in there anymore, folks. So I'm really sorry about that. Something's going wrong here. Okay. Okay, I'm not going to be able to stream for too long. Sorry about that, folks. My phone got a little bit too hot and it shut down the program. So I was in the middle of yeah, it just got too hot for the phone and it shut it down. So I'm sorry about that. So I've got to go back. Oh God, you guys are bad. I thought I was bad. Oh, you guys are great, aren't you? Okay, I'm gonna move the camera over. Yeah, no, it didn't get strip searched. Sorry, guys. Hey, Nancy, how are you? Yeah, I almost got arrested, I think. I swapped the camera over. I can't get access in there anymore. It's all restricted access, so I'm gonna have to seek. I'm gonna have to seek permission and a permit to get inside there. But I'll give you guys a bit of an idea of what you see. Plus it's getting pretty windy here. Sorry about my finger. So you get your coal trucks coming up in here. You got the bridge over there in front of us. Goes over the railway line that brings in the coal train. You just see it in the gap there. There's the railway line. Your coal trucks go over the top, and there's some bins and whatnot there where the trucks unload. They tip, they dump the load and goes on the conveyor belt. And where you see the stockpile on the other side, that's where it went to. So, yeah, unfortunately, we cannot go in there anymore. Here comes the coal truck now. It comes from the mines up the top of the hill. Now, the reason why they bring them down by road is mainly because of the mountain. And it's too steep to put a railway line up to the mines where these trucks are coming from, as well as being part of our catchment area. So okay, I'm just going to read through the comments. So, and the white building you see in the background, that's the grain terminal that came out. They started that in the late 80s, early 90s. So, but everything else here on the right used to be all yes. Here comes another coal truck. There's one for you, creep container man. Look at all the axles there. That's transporting close to 150 ton of coal from correction. That's actually bringing down 100 ton of coal down the mountain from the same mine as that other truck came from. And that's all going to be exported to probably Japan or whatnot. Okay, thanks for joining me, John. I'm going to have to call it quits shortly too. My battery's getting a bit low. I did have it on charge, and the battery was going pretty hot in this, so that's why it shut itself down. So I thank everyone for watching my live stream. I'm hoping with the weather clears, I can get in closer to town next Sunday and continue on from where the railway lines went to through Wollongong. If not, then I'll go up to one of the local coal mines here. Gary Creeper would know it. It's the old drift or the old man Kimberley line. And I'll see you guys through the week. We've got sidetrack Sunday on Sunday later on in the evening, and see you guys through the week. Behave yourselves, have fun. Yeah, talk to you soon. Bye.